Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome back to the FC Football channel. Manchester United have just dropped 2 points in the last minute to Crystal Palace. Of course, it's disappointing, isn't it? Manchester United, throughout the game, well, especially that first half, we were the better team. And second half, Crystal Palace changed a few things. They changed to a 4-2-3-1. And look, they deserved that at the end there, Palace. The way we collapsed. That's the only word you can really say. We collapsed in that second half. When we took Weghorst off us particularly, we collapsed. And look, I speak a lot about how important I think Anthony Martial is to this Manchester United team. And I think, again, today, I feel you can see why I say it so often and why I speak so highly about Anthony Martial. Because that front line today has nothing. Nothing. It was so poor, that front line. Because when you're playing a team like Palace, you can't run in behind every time. Marcus Rashford, against the big sides, is fine as a striker. Because all the big teams will play, and obviously I'll have to do it with our players, will sit like this. Sit this high, they have their centre-backs on the halfway line, meaning you have this space here between De Gea and their centre-backs for Marcus Rashford to run into. But Crystal Palace don't play like that. They're not good enough to play like that. So they don't. They will sit deeper. Now, look how much space there is for Rashford to run in. There is none. So that is when you need somebody. And look, this is something I've spoken about a lot over the last 2 years. You need someone who will get the ball, hold it, and drag players in. Will drop in. And this is where what Bruno Fernandes is so good at number 10. Rashford as well from the left. And why I believe we see the best of Bruno Fernandes when Martial plays. And why I think we see the best of Rashford when Martial plays. And why when we had Cristiano Ronaldo, we didn't. Because Ronaldo is a player that wants to stay in the last man, wants to stay high, and be the one creating all the chances and getting all the chances. Whereas Martial will get the ball, will drop, drag the centre-back, which leaves space for Bruno Fernandes to make that run in behind. To let Garnacho or Rashford make that run in behind normally. But Rashford doesn't want to do that. I mean, Weghorst did it at times. And I think we missed that. I think we missed just having that physical presence in the front line, that when the ball came from our defenders, when we was under a bit of pressure, just having that somebody that would keep the ball, give a bit of respite to the defence, give a bit of respite to that midfield. Maybe we don't score from it. Maybe Martial loses it. But it's making the defenders have to do something well. Maybe, yeah, like I said, maybe we do give the ball away. Martial turns and loses it. But that 5 seconds where the ball's come, he's taken it down, he's assessed his options, and then tried to do something. That's 5 seconds where we've got the ball, the defence can reset, the midfield can reset, and then however long it takes for that Crystal Palace player to then go on the attack. Whereas too often I feel especially with Rashford up top, it's a long ball, Rashford tries to run in behind every time, messes it up, and it's straight back on us. Constant turnover. Because we just don't have someone holding that ball up. And I think we really missed that player in Martial today, especially in that second half. And we should never sit back and hold on. We're not good enough for that. Never have been. Look, I mean, that is true. And I think, look, like I say, Crystal Palace were always pushing at the end of that game. And I think it's hard to say they didn't deserve something. But that being said, did Palace create anything of that quality? Really? I would say no. De Gea made a world-class save against Edouard, but that wasn't a good chance. That was just a great moment from Edouard. You had, and then obviously the free kick. It's a freak free kick, really, like James Ward-Prowse-esque, and it's not given, and you can't do anything about that. But I mean, at the same time, Mateta could have been sent off for that elbow Martinez. McTominay penalty is a clear penalty. So there's arguments we can make that the referee haven't helped us, but at the end of the day, I agree. We sat back and we tried to hold on. I don't like that sort of approach. But that's what we did. Look, and then I mean, we'll talk about Casemiro. Look, he had a great game, Casemiro, and it's a shame he got booked. And it is the most clear booking you're ever going to see, and that's what's annoying, because obviously we need him up against Arsenal, and I wouldn't have minded the yellow card if we that at least say free kick doesn't go in, then I don't care particularly. Obviously, I want Casemiro playing against Arsenal. It gives us a way better chance of scoring. But right now, what's happened is the worst case scenario. We're now going to miss him for the Arsenal game. And we haven't even won this game. And it's a game we should have won. We've had chances. Again, they're showing the penalty here. Richards just doesn't touch the ball. Takes out McTominay. It's the most blatant penalty you're ever going to see. And the referee hasn't given it. VAR hasn't given it. Fucking disgrace. Honestly, I'm so fed up of VAR. For me, VAR, the point of VAR is to get decisions right. What is the point of having VAR if decisions are still are still wrong all the time? If they can sort it and decisions are actually made correctly, brilliant. But they're never right. We still see shocking decisions like that being given as a penalty. It's awful. Absolutely awful. I just don't know what to say. Right, let's start going through the player ratings, shall we? Right, David De Gea. I think De Gea played really well. Nothing he can do for that goal. Made an incredible world-class save to deny Edouard. Really good game from David De Gea. 7 or an 8. I don't know. 7. If he got a clean sheet, I'd give him an 8, 7. Obviously, you guys let me know your player ratings down in the comments in the live chat as well. Gunn actually didn't do fuck all when he came on. I agree. But like I say, I don't think Rashford, when he went up top, he didn't do anything. The front line in general was just really poor. Really, really poor. Wan-Bissaka. I thought Wan-Bissaka was probably our best player today. I was really happy with Wan-Bissaka and Casemiro. They were for me the standouts. Wan-Bissaka kept Zaha very, very quiet. Made that really good last-ditch tackle at 1-0. Which, obviously, if Zaha scores that, we lose the game. I'm giving Wan-Bissaka an 8. And you know what? Given everything he's done over the last few weeks, the kind of resurgence of his career means he can have my man of the match as well. I think he was really, really good today, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Generally, I think the defence all played well. They all get sevens. The defence weren't bad. Like, we dealt with what Crystal Palace had, like Crystal Palace threw at us for 90 plus 2 minutes. It's just, it's a world-class free kick that beats us today. In terms of midfield and defence. Casemiro can also have another 8. Disappointing that he misses Arsenal, but generally, he pardon me, he led that midfield and was so good marshalling it in there. And I do wonder how this game could have went without Casemiro in it. I would have started Casemiro, and I'm happy he did. What happened? I can't fucking believe it. Neither. Absolutely world-class free kick. And like I say, it's a shame Casemiro misses the game. If we had won the game, like I say, I wouldn't care. Well, obviously I would care, but I wouldn't mind Casemiro missing it, because Casemiro could play against Arsenal and we might not beat them. So having Casemiro play against Crystal Palace, secure us a win, and then we go play Arsenal with or without him, and if we lose, we lose. I don't mind that. But given that we have played him, he is now missing for the Arsenal game. We haven't won. As the thumbnail suggests, it's worst case scenario when it comes to Casemiro. Worst case scenario. It's disappointing. Eriksen, generally I think he did okay, 7. And then we get to the front line. I think this is where this game was lost for United today, in this front line. Just not good enough. Just absolutely not good enough, this front line. We had, especially in the second half, we had nothing. Nothing. No one was holding the ball up. Nobody was trying to bring people into play. I do think, look, with Marcus Rashford, and I said this in another game where he did end up scoring. I want to say Nottingham Forest, but I can't say that for definite. It was one of the games where he scored like last minute, Rashford. Whoever it was, Rashford in the last few minutes, last 20 minutes or so of that game, became so selfish, so greedy, and I think it was Nottingham Forest. I think Wayne Hennessy was in goal. He became so greedy, trying to score and trying to keep that run going, and obviously he did in the end. I think he scored a penalty. Well, it might have been a tap in, but before that, he became so greedy, kept shooting when he should have been doing other stuff. And I think we saw that again. There were times where Rashford got the ball, he should have passed, should have looked for an option, but tried to do it himself because he wants to keep that goal scoring run going. And I think in moments like that, it's about your football intelligence. It's about what, and again, I don't want to keep going back to Anthony Martial, because I mean, those of you who are regulars here know I'm a massive fan of his. I think you compare those two. Martial is more than willing to go through spells where he's not scoring, where he's not necessarily assisting either, but he's constantly involved in play. Playing a massive role in creating goals and creating opportunities for the team and to make sure we win. Whereas at times I feel like Rashford is too concerned about trying to score, trying to continue that run going. Whereas while obviously you want someone constantly looking to score goals, but at times you need someone that will go, yes, I want to score, but if I pass this to Garnacho here, he can score. Or if I pass to Garnacho here, then I'll get myself into the box and I'll get my opportunity. And I think that's the difference between Man United winning this game and Man United not winning this game, and that's the difference for me. Just no hold-up play in that front line, and it was easy for Palace to get the ball gone. And I think, look, Weghorst did a fairly good job of that in the first half. I think Weghorst was okay. Anthony, 6 for Anthony. I think he looked lively at times. Not amazing, not terrible. Just average, really. Bruno gets a 7. Good goal. When he moved out to the right, he was poor. Anonymous, really. Created chances. Got his goal, Bruno. But generally, his all-round play, especially in that second half, I thought was very poor. So he gets a 7 because of the goal. If not, that first half was probably about a 7 or an 8. Second half, probably about a 5. So a 7. Rashford, he weren't very good at all for me. He gets a 5, Rashford. He didn't really offer anything. Like I said, especially when he moved up top, he was particularly poor. I do feel bad for him because he's not a striker. And I've said this so many times. Marcus Rashford isn't a striker. And I don't know how much proof people need to believe me. Rashford's not a striker. And we saw that. Against the bigger sides, when there's, like I was discussing earlier, when there's space for Rashford to run in behind, brilliant. He can play there because he's got space to run into. But when you're playing against a low block, a team that aren't looking to press, are happy to sit in and defend, and there's no when you need your striker to be able to hold the ball when it comes to them, be able to lay it off to other people, and at times just be a poacher. That's not Marcus Rashford's game for me, and that's why I think when Rashford went up top, like we saw when Marcel came off against Man City, and obviously we put Anthony up top, I believe it was, in that game, we struggled and we lost control of the game. I think the same was today. Weghorst, probably 6. He was okay, nothing special. He looked a little bit off the pace at times. You can't really expect much more from Weghorst, given that he's been in training for 2 days. Not great, not bad. On the bench, Garnacho offered nothing really. Probably a 5. McTominay, 5. Fred gets a 6. I think that's it. Yeah, I thought Garnacho and McTominay were just poor. They're just poor. Offered nothing. McTominay should have got a penalty, yeah, but didn't. McTominay then got in a fight with Zaha. What else did he do? Poor. Absolute waste of time sub that. And again, it was moving Bruno out from where he's so good in the centre, and instead we move him out on the right, where against City he did well there, but this was a different game, City, and I don't think he was great again there. Then Erik ten Hag. Eight. With Erik ten Hag, look, I think he coached the win more or less. Obviously, in a sense that he is unlucky because United should have won the game. United, we lose that game or we draw that game because of a world-class free kick. That's not on Erik ten Hag at the end of the day. There's nothing he can do about that. What I can say, though, is he did get a few things wrong. I don't know how much it was on Erik ten Hag really moving Weghorst up top, taking Weghorst off. But he did. Hold on. Erik ten Hag's speaking. Right, so essentially, Ten Hag said he was happy, and Weghorst did quite well. It was disappointing to lose it at the end, but we have to learn from that lesson. It certainly is 2 points dropped when you can see the last minute, but we had a chance to win it with Casemiro at the end. We didn't, and we have to take on the chin and we have to move on with. Not much we can really do about it. The yellow card to Casemiro is a shame because he's a very good player, but that's what Casemiro is in the team to do, kind of thing. It's as a player like Casemiro, that sort of challenge to protect your back line, take the yellow, take the hit. Because obviously he's going for the ball, but to put yourself into that sort of challenge, knowing that you might, if you don't win the ball, it is going to be a yellow card. That's the type of player he is. That's his instinct in that situation. So it's hard to criticise in a sense because of that. But it's, of course, it is disappointing. But Ten Hag made the same point I've made a couple of times. We beat Arsenal earlier on in the season without Casemiro, and we can do the same. It is what it is. Generally, look, it's not the end of the world, is it? Palace, they're a difficult team. We should have won, and it's a lesson. We're not in a title race. We are not in a title race. And we can dream, we can have a joke, oh, you're not in a title race, and obviously, like I say, we can dream about it, but this is Ten Hag's first year of a long process of taking Manchester United back to where we are. We are ahead of process at the moment. No one expected us to be, even though, like I say, are we in a title race? I would say no. No one expected us to be as close as we are, the likes of Man City, to top of the league. So, in that sense, we're ahead of progress. But that doesn't mean that because we are there, we should be there. We've got there on credit, and we deserve to be there based on the way we've played. But this was always going to be a long process to get Manchester United back to the top, to be competing for Premier League titles. And in that sort of progress, we are going to have disappointing results. But as disappointing results go, I don't think this is the worst. Because I think you look at like the likes of Man City when they've been through this sort of spell with Pep Guardiola. They had the 4-0s to Everton. They had their disappointing results. But the year after that, they became Centurions. I mean, top teams drop points. I think in years gone by, we might have lost today. And I think that's a sign of progress still. Like I say, teams drop points. The amount of times over the last few years when Man City have been getting 100 points. We've seen Palace take points from Man City. So it's not the end of the world. It's disappointing, of course it is. It's not the end of the world, and I think we'll be all right. We go to Arsenal on Sunday, and it's going to be a tough game. Arsenal are one of, if not the best team in the league, and they're top of the league for a reason. But we beat them at Old Trafford 3-1 and deserve to. Who says we can't do the same? Why? What's stopping us from doing the same? Nothing. Got to be confident. Got to go into that game with an open mind, believing we can win it. I think we can. And that is where we're going to end it today. If you have enjoyed, please do hit that like button below and subscribe if you are new and you haven't already. That would be greatly appreciated. And I'll see you all in the next one in a bit.